Very good morning, cadets. Hope you are all safe and happy in your homes. I hope you have gone through my yesterday's class. In yesterday's class, we discussed about the introduction of Chola Empire. In the introduction of Chola Empire, we studied about the great kings who were responsible for formation of the greatest dynasty called Chola Kingdom. Raja Chola and Rajendra Chola. Cadets, can you name the capital cities of Chola Kingdom? Chola Kingdoms had two capital cities. One is Tanjavur, the second one is Gangaikonda Cholapuram. Further, today, tomorrow and another 3 video lesson, we are going to complete this chapter. So what is left over in this chapter? What is left over in this chapter is how Cholas were responsible for growth of agriculture and irrigation. We are also going to study about the excellent administrative setup of Chola Kingdom. We are also going to study about bronze images, sculpture which belongs to the Chola dynasty. Cadets, are you able to identify this image? This is an image of a front page of your textbook. Our past, part 2, class 7th. Can you identify this image or which god this image depicts? This is a bronze statue or a sculpture. Observe closely. Yeah, this is a serpent. This is an image or a sculpture or a bronze image of Lord Krishna. Those who have knowledge of our mythology, Lord Krishna killed the poisonous snake or serpent Kalinga by dancing on the top of it. We all heard these stories. So this image of Balakrishna, this image is a bronze image. Definitely this image was traced back to the Chola dynasty. So cadets, try to understand bronze image or statues or sculpture considered as one of the greatest contribution of Chola Kingdom. Even today these images are kept intact in museums in various places, and all these images, more than 1,000-year life is over, still they are in a very good shape. So Cholans were remembered for their contribution of the field of agriculture, irrigation and splendid temple construction and bronze sculptures. Let us move further. The Chola dynasty was the Tamil dynasty of southern India, and this Chola dynasty was the longest ruling dynasty in the Indian history. So if you refer to the Tamil history of India, we had Pallavas of Kanchi. We are studying about Chola dynasty. We are also studying of Pandya. So Pandya, Chera, Chola, Pallavas, these were the famous dynasties of South India. So Chola dynasty was the famous dynasty of southern India, and it is one of the longest dynasty in the Indian history. What do you mean by longest dynasty? A dynasty which ruled for a long period of time. For example, the Chola dynasty, which started from 8th century onwards, it was there almost up to 14th to 15th century. Of course, even today you can see the princes who belongs to this dynasty. Definitely today we have a democratic form of government, so they are not enjoying that power, but still the lineage is still there in Tanjavur. The second point you observe, the heartland of Chola dynasty was definitely a very fertile land on the banks of river Kaveri. So Chola dynasty was blessed because the dynasties were established on the fertile banks of river Kaveri. You know, in the recent years, river Kaveri name was, you may be heard often because of the Kaveri water dispute between Tamil Nadu and Karnataka and even Kerala. So, but majorly Tamil Nadu and Karnataka, there was a Kaveri water dispute because river Kaveri is origin in, can you tell me? River Kaveri origins in Talakaveri. Talakaveri is in Kodagu, that is in Madikeri. And from Talakaveri, the river Kaveri origin, and of course it travels through Karnataka and enters Tamil Nadu and joins Bay of Bengal. So river Kaveri is one of the river which definitely was part of the success story of Chola kingdom. Third point, Tanjavur was the capital of Chola kingdom during early Chola period. During early history of Chola period, Tanjavur was the capital of Chola kingdom. Later, during the time of Rajendra Chola was son of Rajaraja Chola. During the time of Rajendra Chola, the kingdom was renamed or called as Gangaikonda Cholapuram. It's a different place than the Tanjavur. Gangaikonda Cholapuram, because Rajendra Chola expanded his kingdom all up to Kalinga, and till he expanded his kingdom and he gathered or collected water of river Ganga and brought this water and poured this water near to the pond which is near to Tanjavur and renamed this particular place as Gangaikonda Cholapuram. So Gangaikonda Cholapuram was another capital of Chola kingdom. And I explained about the golden period of medieval Indian history. Gupta period was considered as golden age of North India. In the same way, Cholan administration was considered as the golden period of South India. And during the Cholan period, Chola kings were the greatest devotees of Lord Shiva, because children, in those days in Tamil Nadu, there was a great movement or a division or a cult or a group between the people who worship Vishnu and the people who worship Shiva. So whenever a king gives a patronage to a particular god, definitely large number of temples were constructed for that particular god. So during the Cholan period, Cholan constructed several temples. The big temple which is called Brihadeshwara temple is considered as Periya Kovil in Tamil. Periya means big, Kovil means temple. So Periya Kovil is definitely a big temple which is constructed by Cholan kingdom. So during the period of Cholan kingdom, several Shiva temples were built across the river banks of Kaveri. Tanjavur Brihadeshwara temple is still the biggest and the tallest temple amongst all temples in India of its time. Tanjavur temple is considered as one of the biggest and tallest temple of those days. Today, of course, you may have some other temples, like if you see Murudeshwara, there is a huge Gopuram is constructed in Murudeshwar temple, but these temples are considered as modern time temple. But in medieval Indian history, Tanjavur Brihadeshwara temple is considered as the biggest temple of those days. Now, why the Cholans were very much involved in construction of temples? Try to understand, temples were not only the place of worship. Those days, the temples were considered as the centers or the cultural hub or centers of economic, social and cultural life as well. Cadets, there is a question. What is the importance of construction of temple? There is a question in your textbook. So what is the answer for this? Temples served as the centers of economic development, social development, as well as cultural life. Now, what do you mean by economic development? Economic development means when a temple is constructed, large number of traders and people who do the work of artisan, craftsmen, craftspersons, blacksmiths, goldsmiths, all these people, they gather or settle down in and around the temple. So when they gathered and settled down in and around the temple, they started selling their products. People come and purchase. So naturally it turned into a economic center. Take for example today tourist destinations. If you visit Hampi is famous for temples only. But today thousands, lakhs together tourists visit Hampi. As a result, Hampi is a source of income. Take for example in Karnataka today, Kukke Subramanya Swami's temple is considered as the richest temple in Karnataka. It gives large income to the government in the different forms. And second one, temple is considered also as a social hub. What a social hub means? People come, they gather, they discuss ideas, they talk, they meet each other. Those days. So naturally it was a center of economic, social as well as cultural life. How temples were considered as centers of cultural life those days? Because most of the cultural activities, the activities related to dance, drama, music, these were all organized in the temple premises. Because children, imagine today we have multiplex, we have Android mobiles, we have TV, we have cable channels and all those things. But in the medieval Indian history, the temple or these kind of places were considered as the only centers of the cultural life. So this is the image of the Periya Kovil. Periya Kovil is nothing but Brihadeshwara temple of Tanjore or Tanjavur. Let us move further. Chola, I already explained you. Cholans were excellent in bronze, the metallurgy of bronze. Bronze sculpture was considered as the finest example of Chola culture even today, which is we can see. Among the crafts associated with the temples, the making of bronze image was most distinctive feature. So what is the most distinctive or observable feature of Chola kingdom was bronze images, and most of the bronze images made in and around the temple premises. Even today if you visit Tanjavur, you can see large number of people. Even today the families are still there, means their lineage, their continuation of their family is there, and they are involved in the bronze image making. And this Tanjavur is famous for painting, Tanjavur painting. Tanjavur is famous for bronze images. Generally, during the period of Chola, point number 2 I am talking, during the period of Chola bronze images considered as one of the finest in the world even today. And third and fourth if you see, most of the Chola bronze images, they were definitely related to the gods and goddesses. So Cholans concentrated the images of gods and goddesses. Now you can see the image. This is the same image which is there in your textbook. Now you can see here lot of images. Now how these bronze images were done? You can see hot melting wax here. These hot melting wax then poured into this kind of tunnel, and here it is kept for cooling for 1 or 2 days, and once it is done, then they start making the fine crafting of those. This you can see, this person is giving it a final touch to that bronze sculpture. And you can see for here also, this is the place in Tanjavur, the museum is there, and in this museum of Tanjavur all these bronze statues are kept even today intact. And when you visit Tanjavur, definitely you can visit. And one of the finest example of these bronze statues which are there in Tanjavur, these bronze statues of Tanjavur definitely gives us an inside picture of Chola kingdom. So this is also the few images related to the Chola bronze statue images. Okay, cadets, now let us move to the few more images related to the palace which is related to the Cholan king. This is the Tanjavur palace. Today's modern day Tanjavur palace. This is definitely an image related to the Tanjavur palace. So with this, cadet, what we studied today, we studied about the example of bronze statue or the metallurgy done by the Chola kings. In the next continuing classes, we will study about agriculture, irrigation and major administrative development which taken place during the time of Chola kingdom. Till then, take care. Bye.